Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today I want to tell you a story that might sound simple at first, but if you really listen until the end, it has the power to change the way you see your own life. This is not just a story about success, or struggle, or failure. This is a story about never giving up, even when everything inside you is screaming to stop. So wherever you are right now, maybe tired, maybe confused, maybe feeling like you're running out of strength, take a deep breath and stay with me. There was once a boy named Ariv. He wasn't born into comfort or privilege. His home was small, the kind of place where walls carried the marks of time and the roof leaked during heavy rain. Every morning, Ariv woke up before the sun, not because he wanted to chase dreams, but because reality demanded it. His father worked long hours doing labor jobs, and his mother stitched clothes at home to earn a little extra money. From a very young age, Ariv understood one thing clearly: life was not going to be easy. At school, Ariv sat on the last bench. Not because he was lazy, but because he didn't want anyone to notice his worn-out shoes or his faded uniform. He listened carefully to every lesson, holding on to each word as if it were a lifeline. Deep inside, he believed that education was his way out. But belief alone was not enough. Every day after school, instead of playing with friends, Ariv worked at a small roadside shop, helping the owner clean, organize, and serve customers. His hands were often dirty, his body exhausted, but his mind kept repeating one sentence again and again: don't give up. There were days when Ariv felt invisible. Teachers praised other students, classmates laughed at jokes he couldn't afford to understand, and life moved on as if his struggles didn't matter. One evening, after a long day of work, Ariv sat outside his house, staring at the dark sky. He wondered if all his effort would ever be worth it. He wondered if dreams were only meant for people who already had everything. For a moment, the thought of giving up felt comforting, like resting after a long race. But then he remembered his mother's tired hands and his father's silent sacrifices. And he chose to keep going. As years passed, the challenges grew bigger. School became harder, responsibilities heavier. There were times when Ariv didn't have enough money for books. Sometimes, he studied under a streetlight because electricity at home was unreliable. His eyes burned with exhaustion, but his heart refused to quit. While others complained about small problems, Ariv learned to survive real ones. Each failure, each obstacle, quietly shaped him into someone stronger. One day, Ariv failed an important exam. It felt like the ground disappeared beneath his feet. All the effort, all the sleepless nights, all the sacrifices seemed wasted. People around him shook their heads, saying maybe he wasn't meant for more. That night, Ariv cried for the first time in years. He felt broken, embarrassed, and lost. Giving up felt closer than ever before. But something powerful happened the next morning. Ariv woke up, looked at himself in the mirror, and asked a simple question: what happens if I quit now? The answer scared him more than failure. He realized that giving up would mean accepting a life he never wanted. So he made a decision. He would try again, not because success was guaranteed, but because quitting was not an option. Ariv studied harder than ever before. He learned from his mistakes, asked questions, practiced every day, and pushed himself beyond what he thought was possible. Slowly, things began to change. His understanding improved, his confidence grew, and his mindset shifted. He no longer studied just to pass exams. He studied to prove to himself that he was capable. Years later, Ariv stood in a place he once thought was unreachable. Not because life suddenly became easy, but because he never stopped moving forward. The boy who once felt invisible became someone others looked up to. But the most important victory was not success, money, or recognition. It was the fact that he never gave up when life tried its hardest to break him. Now let me pause the story here for a moment, because Ariv's journey is not just his. It's yours too. Maybe your struggles look different. Maybe you're dealing with failure, self-doubt, pressure, or fear. Maybe you've tried and failed so many times that starting again feels impossible. But here's the truth most people don't tell you: giving up doesn't end the pain, it just postpones the possibility of growth. Every successful person you admire has faced moments when quitting felt easier than continuing. The difference is not talent, luck, or intelligence. The difference is persistence. It's the quiet decision to show up one more day, to try one more time, to believe even when the evidence says otherwise. Never giving up doesn't mean you won't feel tired. It doesn't mean you won't fail. It means you choose to move forward despite the tiredness, despite the fear, despite the setbacks. Strength is not about being unbreakable, it's about breaking and still continuing. Think about how many times you've wanted to quit. How many dreams you've buried because they seemed too hard or too far away. Now imagine what could happen if you gave yourself one more chance. One more attempt. One more day of effort. Sometimes, the breakthrough you're waiting for is just beyond the point where most people stop trying. Ariv's story teaches us that success is not built in a single moment. It's built in the small decisions we make every day. The decision to wake up when you're tired. The decision to keep learning when you feel behind. The decision to believe in yourself when no one else does. These decisions don't feel powerful in the moment, but over time, they change everything. Life will test you. It will push you to your limits. It will make you question your worth and your abilities. But remember this: your current situation is not your final destination. Pain is temporary, but quitting can make it permanent. Every step forward, no matter how small, is still progress. So if you're listening to this right now and feeling like giving up, let this be your sign. Your struggle has meaning. Your effort matters. And your story is not over yet. Keep going, even when it's hard. Especially when it's hard. Because one day, you'll look back at this moment and realize it was the turning point. The moment you chose courage over comfort. Persistence over fear. Hope over doubt. And when that day comes, you won't just be proud of what you achieved. You'll be proud that you never gave up. If this story connected with you, remember to carry this message with you into your daily life. No matter how slow the progress feels, no matter how heavy the burden seems, keep moving forward. Your future self is counting on you. Thank you for listening, and remember, as long as you don't give up, you're already stronger than you think.